Next one, you have some static things like country, currency. You can blend in data source if you have mixed data. Now this is the local data source, which uses the database on your hard drive. You can show the exchange, but there's no data maintained here in my database right now. The expiration, the high, you can show the current high of the day. You can drag it up here, and that's it. You can see the difference very quick. Let's add another column, and now there's something called indicator. Indicators similar to the chart template and similarly powerful. So let's say if you want to show the value of an indicator, let's take for example an oscillator like the rate of change. So if you want to see the current rate of change for any of the symbols here in the list, you can select the rate of change, and then there's something called return data row, and so we can either show the signals which it creates, or we can return a data row. And the data row concept will be explained in the scripting section later on, but just a glimpse. Data row 1 is always the main price value of the indicator. So 1 is typically the way to go, and we'll leave it at 1 for now. 2 would be the open, high, low, and close, and volume. So it's always like price, open, high, low, volume, and the other ones can be used as well. But typically you have data row 1, and that's it. Just leave it as a default. Now here at the bottom you see the preferences for the indicator. The rate of change can have a periods value, and you see it's the 10 periods rate of change. And this is just fine for us. We click OK, and it will load all the symbols, apply the rate of change indicator, and show us the last value. Now let's double check this. We have a minus 2.8 here for the ROC when we look at 3M. And let's say we go to our template, which is the My Stock Analysis. We add a rate of change, rock, rate of change. This is how it looks like, and it's minus 2.8422. This is simply what this list module now does. It will, in the background, load all the charts for you, extract the last value, and there it is. Let's get rid of this and continue with our look at the columns. Now we can show the other fundamental information. If we maintain it, we can have the current low, the current open. We can have a period high-low, which is quite interesting. You see it in lists a lot. So you can have the high of the all-time high, for example, the all-time low. See the all-time high, how this calculates. So 97 was the all-time high, so this is quite close to the all-time high. See what else can we do? The all-time low, just click OK. Now it turns red because now the value decreased, and of course it will color the list red. So this is now the all-time low which we have. Then we can have the 52-week high, for example, and we can either return the value which we had at which it was, or we can return the date. When was the 52-week high? And we can see now when was it, and we can see this was quite a month ago that it hit the all-time high. It was 2 months ago, and so on. So we can quickly get this information here from the list. What else do we have? We can have a little position column which will just number the columns. If you have printed, you can easily do some references, talk to your customers about the position in which you're talking about. We can see again fundamental stuff, and finally we can have the volume down here. And what you can also do is you can create your own list columns, and this will be a topic later on when we actually will create our own list column. Now let's say we are quite satisfied with the current setup here, so maybe let me sort this template here by volume. So we see the highest ranked symbols first, which were traded the most. So this is Bank of America, General Electric. Okay, and If you're satisfied and we want to preserve this for the future, as in the chart template and as in the filter, we can simply select the templates and save this as a template. So let's do this. Current template, save. We give it a name and we say it's the by volume list. Okay, and there we go. Now we have this new entry here by volume and can quickly open it. We can have multiple templates, quickly switch between them, have multiple list windows where we can analyze different lists. So if you want to have a new list, simply go to the chart, right click and say list on any other one, and you have a second list window. You can load the by volume chart again. It is loaded automatically since it was the last used one. And also the templates will be remembered by folder. So if you have a template for this folder and a template for this folder defined, it will remember and load the appropriate template. Now, we have this template. We can do something to beautify it, or if you want to have some preferences in the list. So let's quickly see what else we can do. So when we right click on any column, let's say we right click on the volume, let's quickly go through this menu. So we had the add column, we talked about this already. Remove column, and we'll simply remove the column here from the list. Then we have show color bars. So color bars are actually these little background bars which will determine the highest value of the whole column and then color it depending on positive or negative values. So it's very easy to quickly visually see where are the biggest and smallest values. So let's do it for the volume. Activate the color bars and there we see, okay, of course they always be green because they're all positive values, and Bank of America will be the biggest one. If you delete Bank of America, it will instantly redraw and realign the little color bars here. They calculate in real time, so they're always up to date. We can activate the blink on update. This is when the colors changed of the cells when new data comes in. We can also deactivate it if you want to, simply here. So these are the ones, these are the settings which we have per column, and in the bottom we have the settings which we can apply per list. So quite neat. We saw values updating here, and let's say we want to align the columns so that they fit the content. So we can go for the automatic list width, and this will scale the columns so that we have maximum information on minimum space. Quite nice. We can select the font size. Let's say we want to have a 14 here, so we can have these symbols. Then we have big fonts which we can use, automatic list width, and it will be realigned again. Okay, so simply select anything you want. I go back to the 8. Okay, pressing enter will open a new chart, so don't be confused by that. Let's see what else we can do. We have color rows. So color rows is a concept which is quite neat because you can apply a background to these rows here in the list depending on their value of some column. So we select the close, and now we can from highest to lowest value enter the thresholds. And let's say if you want to have everything until 100 colored in, let's say, green. Everything until 50 want to color in yellow, and everything else, meaning above 100, we will color in this little blue color here, and we click OK, and now voila, we have our colored backgrounds. So the colored background does not apply to the columns which have color bars or which have graphics like the 3-month chart. So if you deactivate the color bars in here, they will also have the list background. So now we sort it by close. If we sort it, then we can see the effect. We have values above 100 in green, values until below 100 and until 50 in yellow, and all the other values below 50 in blue. Then there's also the fixed gradient. Now the fixed gradient is something, it will take the upper third, or actually upper fourth and the lower fourth, and color them in in a gradient color, and so it will go from yellow to green to red in the bottom, and it will just stay like it is. So this is typically used in certain scenarios where you want to have you don't want to have the color rows in here, so you get rid of the color rows again. Let me delete this, because this will now overlay two effects on each other. Okay, now you just have the gradient here, and you can use it if you have a fixed number of symbols and you want to say, okay, in the top is my attention area, here's the values which I want to buy, and in the lower area is my area where I have to be careful. And if you have a sorting which will reflect this, then you can easily use this gradient. Very special function, as I said, not used too much, but it's available if you want to use it. So if you quickly go for the menu up here, then we see the same functions which we talked about already. So you have the update, you have the clear list, so you can quickly get rid of all the values in the list and start over. The exports are the same as the buttons which I just showed you. Then we have the templates. You can create new templates. We have the multi-column sort bar, and we have our little help again. Now, right-clicking, we can shuffle around the toolbar buttons. We can get rid of those which we don't need. Simply right-click on the toolbar, and then you have the toolbar administration, as you have already seen in our chart and in the main menu bar up here. Okay, let me finalize this template. Let's say I don't need the 3-month chart, I just need the volume, and I want to sort it decreasingly. Okay, looks good. I save the template and close the list. Okay, I go back to where we were, 3M, with my stock analysis chart template, and we continue with our next module.